Hello everybody and welcome back to Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. I'm Kuru-Khan and thank you for joining me. Man, am I feeling lazy today. I always feel lazy, what am I talking about? Yay. Back to this. Oh man, that music is already driving me batty. Truth be told, I really had to motivate myself to record. Not the fault of the game and not the fault of YouTube. Well, okay, it's partially your guys' fault, but not really. It's mostly just me being lazy and not wanting to do anything. Also, a lack of sleep. So much of a lack of sleep. I could not stay asleep to save my life last night. I also hurt my arm in a rather embarrassing fashion. Don't know if you guys heard, but there's a demo of Dragon Quest Builders that arrived on PSN for the PS4 and PS Vita. I, of course, downloaded the Vita version since I don't have a PS4 and I have a Vita, and I probably would have gone Vita anyway. But I wound up playing it for a long time and my arm got sore because I was holding it at a really stupid angle, and it was fun. I really was enjoying myself with it. It wasn't, anything particularly unique or what have you. It was basically just, well, it's not simply Minecraft, nor is it the same thing as, what's the other game? Terraria. I think I know Terraria better since I've played Terraria more than I've played Minecraft. It was closer in style to Terraria. And that's okay, because I like Terraria more. But, it had a really great sense of humor. I don't know if Toriyama did anything beyond his normal character designs for the franchise, but I was sitting there thinking, this tutorial has Akira Toriyama's humor written all over it. I've never played a lot of the Dragon Quest games. Bits and pieces here and there, then a lot of it was in Japanese. That was when I was a kid. So, there's a lot that I don't know about it, and come on, put it in the damn bin. But one of these days, I gotta check out some of those games. I know they're like the bare basic JRPG, but sometimes it's okay to be basic. But Dragon Quest Builders, it's definitely trying to take on the style of stuff like Minecraft and Terraria. It has a simple crafting system, you get to build your home base, that kind of stuff, but it feels gratifying the way it's done. Combat is simple, it's just one button, you can sort of do multi-hit combos, but there's nothing special there. But just the way it's put together is pretty nice. It's not world-changing or anything, at least from what I played, but I liked it. The characters, well, I only met 2 NPCs, plus the goddess, who's always talking to the main character, and that was fun. It has a hunger meter like, what's it called? Minecraft. See, now I can't even remember what Minecraft is called. I don't know what that's supposed to represent, if anything. Maybe it affects how much damage you do to enemies? I don't know. But, it was enjoyable. Did I sell something yesterday? Oh, I sold the chicken! Right, I forgot about that. So, it's not gonna be what I'd call a 10 out of 10 type game, but it's the kind that you can definitely have a lot of fun with. Rather interestingly, you can only save your game at specific save points. There's no autosave or anything. So It has a bit more risk involved, I guess, because you don't just... you can't just stop it whenever you feel like it. Then again, I guess you had to manually save in, the other games, too, but I think that's handled a bit differently. I'm mostly rambling. I always ramble. Oh, it's raining. But, you know, the demo's pretty fun from what I played. So, if you happen to have a PS4 or a Vita, you guys should check that out. I do wish it involved the touchscreen a little more. Not for placing blocks per se, since they have a pretty neat system for that where you hold L or R to look up or down to place blocks. I kind of like that idea. You know, it's sort of a... excuse me. So sorry about that. Sort of a, an aim system. Nothing spectacular, but a nice touch. But, touchscreen would have been nice for selecting items, because otherwise you have to use the D-pad. You press up for switching weapons, and then left and right for switching everything else. Which works fine, but it'd be cool if you could just tap onto the screen and switch to that item directly. I don't know. I just wound up enjoying what I played. Simple as that. I know I went a long route to a short answer there. But it's nice to see that Square Enix can still make a decent game here and there. I'll admit I haven't played Bravely Default or, well, really any of the Dragon Quest games. But I know those got mostly favorable reviews. But, oh boy, the current state of Final Fantasy turns me off so much, and Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like it's gonna be dreadful. That's my opinion. Everyone has one. But mine is the one true opinion. No, not really. I'm not really saying that. I'm just thinking it out loud. Oh, and I guess Rise of the Tomb Raider is making its PS3 debut later this month, so... Or PS3, PS4 debut. I wish it was coming to the PS3, I loved the last one. Yeah, I actually played the reboot of Tomb Raider. I was never huge on the series before, even though I played them. You know, I never beat any of them.
Yeah.
I didn't care much for, you know, the old games, to be honest. And then there was Angel of Darkness, and after that, it's like, I don't think I want to try this series anymore. I know that one was hated even by fans of the franchise, so there's that. But, yeah. I was, not impressed. Then there was the reboot, and it's just like, okay, this is a little bit more fun. The controls aren't so wonky, the gameplay is straightforward. And I know there's a lot of people who love the old games, and I'm not knocking you for liking them. But, you know, I won't lie that the, reboot is basically Uncharted mixed with Symphony of the Night. And, frankly, to me, that's freaking awesome. As for, Rise of the Tomb Raider, I know nothing about it, so I won't comment on it. But if it's more of what the previous game had, then sounds pretty good to me. I know there's some other stuff coming out this month, but I can't think of what it is. I'm not even sure how much of it interested me. Oh, right, Xenoverse 2. God, I would love to get my hands on that, but I still don't have a PS4. Don't know if my laptop can handle it. I know my laptop hated the first Xenoverse, or rather the other way around. I have really mixed feelings about acquiring Xenoverse 2. I mean, I want it bad, but it's like, I have to scrape together the money, and that's not easy. Because I'm lazy. You can donate to me, though. If only you knew my address or my Patreon, of which I have neither. Because I don't want to give out my home address, because there might be weird stalker people. And also, nobody watches this channel. I don't want to resort to something like Patreon quite yet. It's not that I dislike the idea of it. In fact, I think it can be a really cool thing. But there's like a stigma attached to it from my point of view. I don't want people to think, I could do the same thing, so why should I support you? Well, actually, I do want them to think that, because anyone can do what I do with these videos. The other stuff is arguable, but I don't really do much of that on my YouTube channel. In fact, I don't do any of it on my YouTube channel other than a few images that you guys might have seen, which aren't anything mind-blowing. Might be some new stuff coming soon. I might be doing reviews and such. Of course, again, anyone can do that if they've got the right mindset. I know there's a lot of people who will review a game and, you know, you can tell there's a lot of bias there. I see a lot of it in even professional reviews. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm pretty sure I have plenty of bias too. But, you know, it's stuff that anyone can do if they've got the equipment and the right mindset. And really don't even need the equipment. Now, I know I was reading a review for something earlier, and you could just tell the person talking about it had never played it. Then there's some cases like, you know, the reboot of Devil May Cry. I understand the fan outrage over that reboot. In fact, I was one of the people that felt really betrayed over it. And, yeah, this was before I played it. I played the demo. You guys saw my one-shot. Or if you didn't, I don't blame you, because I don't particularly want to remember that game either. And it doesn't thrill me the way Devil May Cry 3 thrilled. I haven't played much of 4, so I can't really form an opinion on it. I think I only did the tutorial fight, and that was all I had time for. But I do know that the cutscenes and everything had that same charm as most of the other Devil May Crys. DMC did not do that for me. And, you know, I think I've remarked on some of this stuff before, but I'm gonna do it again because I've got nothing else to talk about. But, you know, I understand why people were so upset over it. Then the game came out, and there's a lot of people talking about how, you know, it deserved an 8 or a 9, and it's like, no. And then they'll try to say, well, you only played the demo, so you don't really know what you're talking about. That's not representative of the full game. There's some points where that's true, but at the same time, what is a demo if not to entice you to buy the full game? Now, I've heard that some other games have absolutely terrible demos and shouldn't be representative of the final game, like Dragon's Dogma. I've heard that demo, or demos, I guess there was more than one. I heard those demos were just god-awful. Again, I don't know. I actually tried downloading them a long time ago before I got the game, but I was never able to finish the download for one reason or another. But I have the game now, and I can safely say that it's absolutely amazing, so maybe the demo just really poorly represented it. And we got a new chicken! But again, it's still the demo's fault for not accurately depicting the game. This one's a female. I can't think of any name, so I'm just gonna pick one out of the hat. We have a chicken named Haley now. Why? Because why the hell not? But, like I was saying, what was I saying? Right, I was talking about the Dragon's Dogma demo. Fact of the matter is, I haven't played the demo, so I can't comment on how it stacks up against the final game. It looks like it at least has all the crazy customization, which is ultimately what got me to buy the game in the first place. I'm a sucker for customization. And the gameplay itself looked like it could be pretty interesting. So, you know, I thought, well, let's give it a shot. I probably should have played the demo first, but I didn't have the internet at home, so I went for broke. And I'd heard good things about it, so... Yeah, I actually probably don't need a water since it was raining. But, you know, I took a risk on the game, and oh my god, it paid off. I absolutely adore Dragon's Dogma. It's one of my favorite games of the PS3 generation. I heard the PC version irons out a lot of the problems, although there's some stuff that was removed. And when stuff is removed, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you can just mod it back in. That's a fair point. At the same time, I don't think mods should necessarily be taken into account for everything. Yes, for a Bethesda game, it's hard not to say it, because so many people use so many mods, and frankly, the game is better on PC. I won't pretend otherwise. I've mentioned this before. But, by the same token, Dragon's Dogma is a game that felt pretty damn good on the PS3. I know a lot of people claimed that chugs and everything. The frame rate dropped, but it never got to the point where it was chugging. I know I'm in the minority, but Shadow of the Colossus was a game that chugged, and I absolutely hated it. I probably lost every subscriber I've ever had just now. But, you know, I played the demo, and yeah, the boss fight in the demo was awesome. But then I realized that's basically the whole game. Yeah, there's only one Colossus, as opposed to many of them. But everything I've heard about it, everything I've read, everything I've seen points to that is the entire game right there. A bunch of empty nothingness and a couple big boss fights. I guess there's 16, which is a bit more than a couple, but most of them, they don't look like they shake things up much. I'm not saying it's a god-awful game, but to me, it was a god-awful game. And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, it's art! Not all art is good. I really hated Shadow of the Colossus. And what's funny is nobody at the time that I was looking at getting Dragon's Dogma, nobody compared it to Shadow of the Colossus. Even though that's probably the most accurate representation you could get for the game. Nope. Go forward, Cal. There we go. But, you know, Dragon's Dogma, to me, is what Shadow of the Colossus should have been. If you're sleeping, I'm gonna feed you to the dog. That was a very good threat. But, you know, it had this vast, multi-layered world. There's tons to do. There's NPCs to interact with. There's a lot of life within the world. And there's all that customization, all the cool combat, and frankly, the bosses that, you know, some of whom respawn, are so much more exciting than the ones in Shadow of the Colossus. I know I'm in the minority when I say that, or at least I think I am. But, you know, I've heard people try to say, well, Shadow of the Colossus was better. Why? Even when it comes to story. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma didn't have this hugely fleshed out story. In fact, that's one of its biggest weaknesses. But the story it had was really good. And it did leave a lot to the imagination. Especially upon playing through it a second time, provided you're not connected to the internet. But, you know, it's just weird that so many people try to defend it. Well, it's on purpose that it runs at like 10 frames per second. And yet you complain when the frame rate drops in Dragon's Dogma. That makes no sense to me. Well, it's supposed to be an empty world. But why? It's not interesting. It's not anything good to look at. What's really funny is, I saw one of the people defending Shadow of the Colossus because of its washed-out, colorless world, trying to claim how great it was, despite that. And then they blasted Dragon's Dogma, or because of that, they claimed it was great because of that. Then they blasted Dragon's Dogma for having a washed-out, colorless world. It's like, how much of it did you actually look at? There's a lot of variety there. It's not just a blank wasteland. And yeah, there's flaws to Dragon's Dogma. I'm not trying to be entirely biased against Shadow of the Colossus. But, Dragon's Dogma, it offers so much to me. And it's a fun game besides. It's not just there's a lot of stuff in it, because a lot of stuff sometimes can be to the detriment of a game. But, it had a good-sized story, enough to keep you interested, but doesn't really drag on. Although a lot of people would disagree with the Everfall, which is a really long-ass dungeon, but it's also pretty easy, and you get to fight some really cool monsters down there. And, there's a payoff. There's a New Game Plus, which, allows you to start from the beginning with all of your stuff intact, which is awesome. You get a chance to recustomize your character and your main pawn. Also, the pawns. Holy crap, I love that. I love the AI system in the game. Yeah, they can be a little chatty, and sometimes they're a bit derpy. But I did feel like I had a pretty reliable crew through every playthrough I've done of that game. So, it's not simply Shadow of the Colossus with dumb AI partners and customization. Dragon's Dogma is just, this massive open world game that gives you a ton of options and actually succeeds in, not just in telling a story or being pretty or whatever, but in also actually having a game. Again, I know I'm not going to be well-liked for that opinion. At least probably not. But, Dragon's Dogma, it's one of those games I feel like somehow didn't get noticed, even though it should have. It makes me really upset that Dragon's Dogma Online hasn't come out in the US. Like, what the hell, Capcom? I know they use excuses like, well, the servers would cost too much. You're Capcom, you can afford it. If you can afford crappy Resident Evil releases like Operation Raccoon City and, crap, what was the other one? Umbrella Corps, then you can certainly afford Dragon's Dogma Online. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. I know I've got a pretty distinct opinion about this stuff, but it's rarely unfounded, despite what I know a lot of people may think. Yes, there are games that I've hated on that I haven't played, including Final Fantasy XV. However, I'm neither the only one, nor am I unjustified in my belief. It's also not as though I haven't, watched footage and such of these games. I have done some research. And again, some of them I have played, and some of them I really wish I hadn't. Harvest Festival. It's probably over at Vestas? I don't know. I'll check it out in between episodes. Hopefully. So with that, I'm done ranting, and I'm gonna end the episode here. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for the next one.